husband and I grew up in the same neighborhood, so we both knew what a house is supposed to look like during the holidays. Large, incandescent, rainbow-colored bulbs shining brightly for all to see. Tastefully done, of course. A simple string along the porch railing, and perhaps one underneath the gutters framing the front of the house. Lights that greet us as we come up the walkway, reminding us that despite the gray days of late fall, Christmas is almost here. Those lights are just enough to stir my Jewish heart, but never over the top. Our two sons knew they had a full ticket to Christmas, and Santa always came to their house. They never asked, "Does Santa really bring presents to Jewish kids?" or "Where's the menorah?" They asked, "When is Dad putting up the Christmas lights?" Most people in the Northeast put their lights up right after Thanksgiving because the weather is still relatively mild. Not my husband. Today, I ask him on a sunny day with no wind. "It's not cold enough," he replies. Clearly, there are rules. Any self-respecting Catholic knows you have to suffer a bit, like all those Christian martyrs. We usually bring our tree home 2 weeks before Christmas. The ornaments are a mix of store-bought and homemade, and we all know the history to each one of them by heart. "Didn't we get this at the Times Square store when we were first living together?" I asked, while holding up a small wooden blue car that resembled our 1969 VW Bug. My husband smiles and nods his head. The first Christmas we shared in our new apartment, we had nothing to hang on the skinny tree. Our budget was tight, but we splurged on 2 strings of small incandescent rainbow bulbs and a few wooden ornaments that we found for half price. "Why does he have more ornaments with his name on them?" the younger child asks. He's in his 30s. "Because they love me more," the older child replies with a grin. Who wants to put the tinsel on?" I ask, as they both reach for a handful. My husband shakes his head, knowing he'll have to redo those glimmering strands because, well, there are rules. Only one piece at a time. "Don't put them on like Artie," he warns us, and we all laugh. Artie is our best friend from the old neighborhood. He takes small clumps of tinsel as he drinks his cocktail, and though he begins with single threads, by the end, he is usually in the middle of a political discussion and simply tosses the rest wherever there is a bald spot. When the tinsel is done, we usually step outside and admire the tiny farmhouse, lit up inside and out, with the tree in her glory, framed in the window. We had a good run for years. I followed the rules, he followed the rules, until last year. Until my husband went shopping without me. On that cold and blustery fall day, he carried new lights up the ladder and tacked them up beneath the gutters. Blue LED lights. Elegant lights, sophisticated lights, but not my lights. My lights were still a tasseled mess in a carton in the garage. "Don't they look good?" he asked as he climbed down the ladder. "Where are the other lights?" I asked. They're over there," he said, pointing at a small Douglas fir propped up outside on the porch, an afterthought draped in my large multicolored incandescent bulbs. "But where are the rest?" I asked. "I wanted to try these this year," he said, avoiding my eyes. We both knew he had broken the covenant, and we both knew I wouldn't insist he climb back up that ladder to switch them out. But I steeled myself as he snuck a hopeful look in my direction and thought, never again.